Hey traders, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. We remain in tightening daily ranges that are set to break potentially this coming weekend, which will give us key short-term direction as we head into the start of October. We have some fear in the broader market and strength in the dollar. How is that impacting the cryptocurrency space? Let's see what the charts tell us. So if you told me 3 days ago to start this week that SPY would be red and dropping and weak pretty much every day this week, it was green yesterday, but a weekend sidebar. If you told me that was the case, I would say, uh-oh, that means Bitcoin's very likely breaking to lower lows, breaking this equilibrium bearish. And if you told me the dollar would be breaking out this week with significant follow through, I would say the same thing. So here we have Bitcoin holding these equilibrium supports with a triple bottom and up closer to resistance than we are to support. Resistance is 44.4. We are, we'll call it 1.2 thousand away from there. And our support is 40.7. And we are 2,500 above that level. So all in all, bulls are very pleased with where they stand considering the bigger picture. Because again, SPY is attempting to form a daily equilibrium, but it is really struggling to set this higher low, and the size of the retracement, a big bounce, but gave back 80% of that bounce. And we know we want, if you're bullish the markets, commodities, or crypto, you want a weak dollar. The dollar is currently in a monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour uptrend. So again, the takeaway for me is Bitcoin bulls are very pleased with where they stand. They are positioned well for two things. If the dollar starts daily consolidation, or if SPY sets a daily high or low, then Bitcoin bulls are positioned well for both of those things happening. So looking at the resistance, if we break either support or resistance, we have to take out both levels. So I'm looking at our support zone. There's a few levels in here, but really 40.7, we'll call it. Okay, 40.7 is support, and the next level that must break if the bears are going to prove follow through is 39.5. Because if we break that support but hold 39.5, it's going to be a bear break with a lack of follow through. And if we break resistance of 44.4, but we don't break the top of the initial bounce of 45.2, then again, it will be a lack of conviction and a lack of follow through. We're going to be looking for a number of things on the break. We're going to be looking for increased volume on the daily time frame and increased volatility. So I can look at this chart and say, volatility is incoming. And we've seen this multiple times where we just have tightening daily ranges that play out for a week plus. And at this point, this has been playing out for about a week and a half. And we know that a break is going to lead to volatility. So I can say confidently that within the next few days, the cryptocurrency space will be more volatile than it has been over the last week and a half. Again, I can't predict the direction that the break's going to occur. I can say which I'm favoring. And because of how it's positioned comparative to the broader market and the dollar, I'm favoring a bull break at this point in time. But it has to break before we see that volatility spike. And it is possible that we reject from this daily resistance and then pull back and have a really slow weekend. And if we don't break over the weekend, then we know we're going to break first thing next week. As far as the shorter term time frames, they matter a lot less to me. We have a 4-hour high or low. It is still a possible 4-hour bull flag trying to hold support of 42.7 thousand. And again, it's all about 44.4. So if we're not breaking 44.4, then we are still range bound. And bears have positions and bulls have positions, either playing off support if you think it's going to break bull, placing your stop under key support, or if you think it's going to break bear, you're looking for entries now, playing off of resistance and hoping that we drop down over the next couple of days. So I'm favoring the bulls, and I do still have a position. I believe the last video that we talked about, or the last video that I did, I was talking about the position and the bounce trade that I made on the break of 41,000, and I just sold half and stuck my stop under 40.6, and I haven't been triggered yet. So I was only planning on it being a day trade, and this was last Friday, I think. So 6 days ago, I was only planning on it being a day trade, but I haven't been stopped out, so I am still in that position as well. The dominance chart is continuing to tighten as well. So how this equilibrium breaks on Bitcoin US dollar pairing is likely going to dictate how this equilibrium breaks. And it's either going to be, in my opinion, again, the probabilities of what the relationship has been over the last year and a half, I would say that if the Bitcoin tightening daily range breaks bull, that this pattern will likely break bear and dominance will be testing its lows. And if it breaks bear on the Bitcoin pairing, on the Bitcoin US dollar pairing, then we're likely going to break bull as the altcoins will be dropping faster than Bitcoin on a bear break. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on over the next couple of days, and that is the short-term pattern that we're watching. ETHUSD is just as beautiful as far as its clarity of this equilibrium with our low, high, higher low, double bottom down there, pretty much a double top, held support again. Anything under 3168 is just a lower high, staying within this tightening range. So again, it's possible we set a lower high today or tomorrow, pull back for a day into the weekend, and get real tight. ETHBTC, tightening up on the daily. It's not as clear. It's more of a megaphone because we dropped to a lower low into a higher high, none of which has seen any follow through. So I'd be watching an uptrending resistance line, and I would be watching a downtrending support line, and we're just sideways right now, right in the middle of this pattern. But again, we're watching for the break of Bitcoin. This chart really isn't telling me anything. Once the Bitcoin breaks takes place in whatever direction it is, then I'll look at this chart and look for information. Cardinal hit the window, he's okay. Sol is a top watch. It's even tighter than Bitcoin. We know volatility is incoming here. Again, it's just like a soda can. You're just shaking it up, and it's going to open soon. And anything under 148.92 is just a lower high. Our new support is 128.17. And why I like this chart so much is not only is the US dollar pairing real tight, but the BTC pairing is even more tight. Multiple weeks of this tightening range here. And watching for the potential that it gives us some clues in the direction that it breaks. We came real close to breaking support. And for me, I'm using, you could say this is a higher low, but really I'm using 303 as a key daily level. And we'll use 332 as our resistance. Again, it's getting really tight here. Let's see if we zoom into the 12-hour. If it gives us a bit more clarity. You can act on the 12-hour. So if the 12-hour breaks support, it's going to shift probabilities a little bit in favor of bears. And the SOL USDT support is 128.17. If this pattern breaks bull, we're watching for a weekly higher low to be set and to move back up towards the upper 100s. And this weekly consolidation is very healthy at this point. So if it does break bulls, then bulls are comfortable. But I know a lot of traders, certainly TheChartGuys members, have already established their positions, again, by playing off support if they think it's going to break bull, or playing off the resistance if they think it's going to break bear. Set your stop losses and patiently wait for that volume and volatility to spike. But Binance, standing out past couple of days with a big bull move. And we had a bit of a falling wedge here, just with bear breaks starting to lack follow through. And Bitcoin had a bit of one as well. We'll check back in on that. But from all the way back here, look at these support lines holding. And as far as resistance, I would be drawing the downtrending line here. Or you could draw it tighter. Depends on where you put your anchor point. If I put it here, it's a little bit tighter. Actually, I like this one better. Bull break took place, and now we have a 4-hour uptrend. So significant shift. Daily time frame, testing resistance of 385.30. Double top at the moment. But what we do have is a lot of space for a daily higher low to form next time we consolidate. I wouldn't say that we've changed the daily trend yet. So if Bitcoin sets a daily lower high and continues tightening up, and Binance rejects from 385.30, it's going to be a potential inverse head and shoulders, where we have our left shoulder, our head. Try it again. Left shoulder. Trading View is not cooperating and making me look like a scribbler. So if we reject from resistance, we look for the daily higher low to try and confirm the daily trend change. And that would be our weekly higher low in a bigger picture weekly equilibrium that we're anticipating is the likely scenario for the cryptocurrency space as a whole. And Bitcoin's 4-hour tightening pattern, it doesn't even matter. The daily is the daily rules everything, and that is what matters. BNB BTC, very notable move off the low. It was more beat up. We're bouncing from daily oversold conditions. We look back at our past, and we can see the daily RSI has touched or just dipped right under 30 the last 3 times. So that is a good historical. Ever since the breakout, if the daily RSI hits 30, bulls look for that bounce. We will still need the confirmed daily trend change here as well, but we've got a weekly higher low trying to shape up. And then we will scout a potential weekly lower high. But Binance bulls getting some nice short-term momentum in their favor, and aggressive bears are scouting Binance for a top fish with that 385 resistance. Is it a rising wedge? So again, what I'm doing here, whenever I'm doing this analysis, I'm just starting on a longer term time frame and saying, okay, well, if we reject here, what's it going to look like? So knowing that we're at a key resistance level, then I scout, okay, are we seeing a rising wedge form, the break of which could potentially give us that daily consolidation shaping up? So I'd be keeping an eye on this pattern. And if this pattern breaks bear, then we will reject from daily resistance and potentially be shaping up consolidation. At the moment, it's a bull break with a lack of follow through. So if I were going to be looking bearish on Binance, I would need to see signs that Bitcoin is seeing daily consolidation as well. So I would want to see Bitcoin break 42.7 thousand for me to have any confidence that Binance is going to top out at this daily resistance. DYDX, a lot of people watching this one as it's been running to all-time highs. Significant bull move up recently. Pattern of a higher low every day the last 6 days, but a potential head and shoulders is forming. So bulls do have to be a bit cautious. We have support of 2364, but even if we hold that level, if we then fail the all-time high and confirm a 4-hour downtrend, it will be time for daily consolidation. We have a 15-minute oversold bounce trying to take place right now. It cooled off RSI and saw another leg down. So it's all about 2364, which is still holding. But again, size of this pullback, it's the most 4-hour consolidation we've seen since this blue sky run took place over the last week. So we have to be cautious of a 4-hour lower high being the result of the next bounce. And then if we do confirm a 4-hour downtrend, from there we'll be scouting first hourly oversold conditions. And if we went straight to hourly oversold conditions from here, it would still be a back burner trade that bulls are watching for a bounce on. DYDXBTC, what's the clue here? It lost its 4-hour support already. So again, using these BTC pairings for clues, that 4-hour higher low was lost hours ago. So 3 hours ago, support broke on the BTC pairing, and the US dollar pairing has been nothing but weak since then. So is that shifting the probability of the potential that the all-time high is set for now and a 4-hour lower high is the most likely scenario on the USDT pairing? It's definitely something we want to be paying attention to. I would be a more confident bull if DYDXBTC were still in a 4-hour uptrend. But the 4-hour uptrend has been lost and daily consolidation is potentially shaping up. AVAX looking back in because we were watching this one from the last video for a 12-hour rising wedge in conjunction with a 12-hour head and shoulders pattern that was forming. And it confirmed with zero follow through. So the bear break took place at 61.59 as far as confirming the downtrend. And it's still possible it gets follow through, but at the moment, it doesn't have follow through. So if I'm a bear, I'm definitely walking a stop loss down with these 12-hour lower highs. We have multiple inside bars now, but the bears would have to break 61.11 to be getting follow through on that bear break and to be shaping up weekly consolidation. If the bulls were to break 69.50, it would be a red flag for bears. And AVAXBTC is also just grinding this low here. Not a convincing bear break, but close to seeing further downside. So it ended up falling through nicely enough to at least be positioned as a bear, to be low risk, scouting that lower high. And from there, 72 dropped down to 61. So a solid 15% drop. And that's where we stand. It's all about the Bitcoin daily equilibrium. And we're watching the BTC pairings of altcoins for potential clues as they are in tightening daily ranges as well. If we lose the 4-hour high or low on Bitcoin, our potential daily lower high is shaping up, and we'll look for it to tighten up another day or two before the volume spikes and eventual inevitable break. Establish those game plans. What are you going to do if this equilibrium breaks bear? What are you going to do if this equilibrium breaks bull? I hope you are well. Don't forget to do good things out there, and we will see you when it breaks.